Welcome back.
I'm Mark.
And I'm Jamie.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Hanging Out with Mark and Jamie.
Today we're going to do something different. We are going to make bratwurst sausage.
Well, I've made sausage before. Actually, I've made Korv. It's spelled K-O-R-V, and I've been on the Korv crew with our friends Jim and Julie. But we're going to make something a little bit different this time. And we do start off talking a little bit about our equipment. And Jamie, tell us about what we're going to do here, what equipment we have, and how we're going to make our bratwurst, which is a little bit different.
Okay, well, we're starting off with your standard KitchenAid mixer, stand mixer. We're using KitchenAid food grinder. This is not a commercial for KitchenAid. They don't know we're doing it. They're not giving us any money, nothing. This is just, but this is what we use. So this goes on here on the PTO for you farmers, power takeoff. That's what we got there. We put the auger in, push that down. The blade, very small blade, but it works. Put that in. Then we have two plates. We have I don't know if you can see these. One's a large hole and one's a small hole. I always use the large one. I think they get clogged up enough as it is. And then a little wheel on the front. Put that in there and we are ready to go. The other item that we have with this is our pusher. In case it's not going down.
So we feed the meat into here.
Feed the meat into the top. Here. It comes out here.
Into a bowl.
Into a bowl.
Ready to...
Well, then it's just raw meat.
Then it's raw meat, but then it has to be mixed.
In. Right.
Okay.
Right.
We'll get back to you in a little while, and we'll show you what that looks like.
We're about to deal with food. What's the first thing you do when you're going to deal with food?
Gotta wash your hands.
Gotta wash your hands.
All right. Well, we're about ready to start cutting here. Jamie has lent me his Wusthof carving knife here. Yes. Very sharp.
They're not paying us either.
No, not a commercial for them.
Not a commercial for them.
All right, so just exactly how do we want to cut this?
We want to cut it in small pieces. You've got a fairly small hole here, and the more cutting you do, the less work the machine has to do.
Okay.
So you cut against the grain.
Against the grain.
That makes it easiest for the grinder to do its work.
All right, I see we're running this way.
Yep.
All right.
So cut, yep, perpendicular to it. Perfect.
Okay.
And you're doing it with the meat cold, which is essential. It's so much easier to cut when it's cold and to grind than it does when it's warm.
Okay.
All right, you ground up 5 pounds in the refrigerator, probably another 3 pounds here, and now we're done with all of the cutting. Right. Now, on another video, a gentleman said, when you're done grinding meat, put in a piece of bread, all right? And then we'll clean out the grinder. Now, you go ahead and pull this away when you start seeing bread come out. There you go. All right. And now it's just dry bread. All right, Mark, while you're done grinding here, tell us what you got.
Well, we started with a 7.6 pound roast, bone-in pork roast. And we cut the meat off, ground it, and we're down to about 7 pounds of meat. We got 5 pounds here, 2 pounds here. That means there's about a half a pound of bone. And what we're going to do, we're going to make some bratwurst. In the Midwest, we call them brats. I thought they were called brats, but they're not. And then we're going to make some breakfast sausage. In order to do that, we're going to have to mix some spices together. We've got a couple of recipes here. Recipe for our bratwurst, and then recipe for our breakfast sausage. And we'll go ahead and we'll put that on our description in our video so you can see what the recipe is.
All right, we're getting ready to do the mixture here with the, I've got my spices.
I have my spices as well, a few extra because we're mixing 5 pounds here. And in the interest of hygiene, we're going to glove up here.
Absolutely. You don't want to work with fresh meat in bare hands.
So we're gonna mix this by hand. There's no auto mixer going on here. Thank you very much, KitchenAid, getting us this far. But the rest of it is Mark and Jamie aid.
There we go. The hardest part of this job is just bringing the press up from the basement. So I brought out my bathroom scale that I don't necessarily trust and have it on the floor here. Let's see how much this thing weighs. It's registering exactly 40 pounds.
Well, that's quite the monstrous thing. What's that made of?
It's cast iron. I've got to believe that there are lighter ones today. This one's about 50, 60, 70 years old. I don't know when it was made, maybe 100 years old, but it still works perfectly, so I'm happy with it.
As long as it does the job.
That's right. All right, let's get her set up.
We've got our press. We've got it positioned where we want it here. Jamie, tell me how this is going to work.
Okay, well this is an enterprise press, but the way we do this is we've got a large plate, and this goes on the crank here.
You seeing that? The crank going up and down?
Yeah, this fits on here. Like that. We put the horn on, we put the meat in, this cranks it down, pushes it out.
All right.
That's easy enough.
Great. Well, let's see this thing assembled. There you have it.
And we're ready to go.
We are ready to add meat.
Okay.
The next step in the process is that the meat has to go somewhere, and we're going to put it into a casing. These are actually pig intestines. These are the casings. It says it right on here, sausage casings, hog sausage casings. And in fine print, it even says at the bottom, hog casing for traditional sausage like Italian, Polish, Bratwurst, and chorizo. So I'll show you the package.
Are we making one of those, Mark?
We are definitely going to make one of those, and it will be Bratwurst today.
All right. What do you got going on there, Mark?
Well, I've got the casing, okay, and as you can see here, we're talking about a pretty long casing here, and these are packed in salt, so we've got to rinse it out first. So we're going to give it a little bit of a rinse. So sometimes it takes a minute here to find the end. You have to find the end, and then once you have the end, you open it up, and then we're going to run some water through it. And then there's a casing, and we're going to save that. Make sure we get all the water out of it here. We're going to save this aside here, and that is a finished one. There we are.
And how many do you think you're going to need?
You know, I think 3. We'll do 3. Hopefully that's enough. If not, we can rinse another one.
Some casings all cleaned out,
Okay.
rinsed out. Very nicely done.
Now you're ready to put it on the horn?
We're going to attach it to the horn. Okay, we've got 2 casings, and we're going to 2 more casings to go. We've got 3 casings in total, and we're just going to push them all on to the horn here. Here we are. We have our meat. Spices have been mixed in. And now, tell me, Jamie, what's the next step in the process?
You saw the press that it's going to go into.
Okay.
Big metal thing, and it's about 100 years old. I don't know if there's, it doesn't look like there's any rust in there, but to protect it, I put all of the sausage into a Ziploc bag,
Okay.
cut a corner, and then put the bag in the press so that the whole is pressed just a little bit at the end.
Almost like frosting. Like the frosting bucket from maple syrup.
Yes. We'll take a corner. A little bit like that.
Here we are. We have our prepared bag of meat, cut corner. We're going to put it into the press with the cut side down, and we are ready to go.
Press down with your hands as much as you can. There you go. And you can start cranking now. Give ourselves a couple inches here. Keep going. Keep going. That's why we leave it open, so we can get rid of some of that air. There we go.
Now that we have the casing filled with meat, we've pushed it in. Now we want to make some links because I don't want to just eat a big long bratwurst. That's not going to fit in a bun.
No.
So what's next? How do we turn this into links?
Okay, well the first question you have is how long do you want your link to be? Some people want it as long as a large bun. Some people want it a small bun. I like to have it as long as the bag it's going to go into
Well,
to
that
put
makes
in the
sense.
freezer. So I'll set that down and I'll pinch it. And this will be my first pinch. And then I'll pinch again, similar length. And then I turn one and both of the ends turn the same direction. Then I skip one. And I go to the next one and I pinch that. And that way it works. It's kind of a geometric thing.
It just works.
There's math in there that I don't understand, but it works. So you just do every other one.
Jamie, that was quite a little project there. We got, let's see, 6 bags worth. We had 18 links out of the meat that we had.
Yeah, 3 to a bag, right?
3 to a bag. We've put them into bags, labeled them, and dated them. And we've got 6 of those. We're going to freeze those up, and they'll be ready to go soon.
Yeah.
And we're going to do breakfast sausage. So that has also been mixed up. Been in here, in the bag, because we only had enough room in one of the bowls for the bratwurst, so we've put it in the bag here. And Jamie, what's the next step?
Well, the next step is to put your gloves on, because we're touching fresh meat. I have found, through trial and error, that the best size for a breakfast patty is 2 ounces. So I will take out just a little ball of it and turn on my kitchen scale. Wait for it to go to 0. There we go. Okay, 2 1/8. Just take a pinch off of there. 2 ounces.
I ripped those gloves. My hands were wet, so I couldn't get my hands into the gloves.
Okay. So you failed glove 101.
I failed glove 101, yeah.
Okay.
Now that we've turned that breakfast sausage into little dough balls, they're not dough, meatballs.
Meatballs.
It looks like you got a couple of spatulas here. We're going to turn them into breakfast patties.
Yeah. And part of the problem is if we left them this way, they'd be hard to cook. They would probably get dark on the outside, but the inside wouldn't get done.
Can't have that.
Can't have that. So I use the 2 spatula method because I'm not terribly good at this. But I press it down till it starts coming out, and then I skim it off the bottom, and then I end up with a patty. And now into the freezer with them. Which in Minnesota could have meant outside.
Well, 2 weeks ago,
2 weeks ago.
it would have meant outside.
Yes. Mark, we finished the breakfast sausage and put them individually in the freezer. What do we do now?
Well, you know what? I'm going to take them out. Here they are. I'm going to put them in a bag. And I'm taking them home. Because they got to go in this bag here. They should peel off of here nice. And kind of partially individually frozen.
You're not afraid of having a glob of breakfast sausage in your bag?
I don't think I will. Do you think I will?
I don't. No, I think they stay frozen. They stay separate.
They're firm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have our outside grill. This is like a green egg, only it's called a Primo. but it's a Kamada grill. We are at 350 degrees, and we have our first bag of brats that we made today. Make sure we're clean here. There we go.
Here it is. Bratwurst all cooked. A little mustard there. Direct from Germany.
Direct from Germany. My sister, the flight attendant, brought that back for me. That was very nice of her to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a shot here. Now the best thing I can say about it is that it tastes like a brat. So let's find out. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Well done.
Got our thawed breakfast sausages, and we're going to have pancakes this morning. And you need maple syrup. Oh, no, we're not having that maple syrup. We're going to have the maple syrup that we made this week. Homemade pancakes with homemade batter. Yep. Homemade sausage, homemade pancakes, and homemade maple syrup. The only thing not homemade in this plate is the butter that went on top of the pancakes. Thanks a lot for hanging out with us today while we make sausage.
If you like this video and the others, please hit the like button, subscribe, and leave us a comment.